The championship window isn't just open, it is wide enough to drive a truck through, and the pressure in Los Angeles has reached a breaking point that most fans aren't even prepared for yet. Forget everything you thought you knew about this roster's ceiling because, after the seismic shift of the Myles Garrett acquisition, the entire blueprint has been shredded and rewritten. We aren't just looking at a depth chart anymore. We are looking at a powder keg of high-stakes gambles, desperate contract negotiations, and a make-or-break season that will define the franchise for the next decade. Before we dive into the wreckage and the glory of this new-look team, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest, no-nonsense NFL updates on the planet. The quarterback room is the epicenter of this transformation. When you use a first-round pick on a prospect like Ty Simpson, you aren't just adding a body. You're firing a warning shot across the bow of the entire league. Everyone is focused on Matthew Stafford, rightfully so, but the real, underlying drama isn't about who leads the offense today. It's about who survives the transition tomorrow. Right now, the battle for the backup role has turned into a psychological game of inches. You've got the experience of Stetson Bennett, who has spent enough time in this system to practically coach it from the sideline, staring down the raw, high-ceiling talent of Simpson. The team is going to bubble wrap Stafford this offseason, resting him through high-intensity sessions, which leaves the door wide open for these two to battle it out in 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. Is it a disaster in the making if the depth fails? Or is this the perfect pressure cooker to forge a future star? Let's be real, this competition is far from over. Training camp is the judge, jury, and executioner. If you think you know how this ends, wait until you see the specific, high-stakes scenarios the coaching staff is planning to throw at these guys during the preseason. It's going to be absolute carnage. Speaking of carnage, we have to talk about the running back room. It is a stable, reliable machine at the top, but underneath the surface, there is a cold, calculated war for survival. Kyren Williams and Blake Corum are the undisputed kings of the backfield. And let's be honest, Corum is coming for the crown. We are looking at a potential 50-50 split that could completely shift the offensive identity of this team. But look further down the roster. Ronnie Rivers, DeAndre Hunter, and Dean Connors are fighting for a life jacket in an ocean of uncertainty. One of these men will be gone, and the tension is palpable. The smart money is on Connors being the odd man out. But if he manages to find a rhythm as a return specialist, the entire dynamic changes. The question is, who is the weakest link when the lights are brightest? Who's to blame for this uncertainty? Drop a name in the comments below and tell me who deserves the boot. Now, pivot your attention to the receiving core. This is where things get truly, dangerously creative. Everyone is obsessing over the WR3 role, looking for a tradition. He's listed as a tight end, but if you think he's just going to block, you're missing the point entirely. He is a hybrid weapon, a chess piece that can move from the inline position to the slot, or even stretch the field out wide in 13 personnel sets. By viewing Ferguson as a receiver, the team has effective future where their current stars might be too expensive to keep. It's cold-blooded business, and it is exactly what you need to sustain a dynasty. But what happens if this hybrid experiment fails on the field? The consequences could be catastrophic. The offensive line is a ticking time bomb of contract anxiety, from the inside out if the culture isn't rock solid. And then there is the elephant in the room, the Alaric Jackson situation at left tackle. With pending legal issues and a looming NFL investigation hanging over his head, the team is forced to walk a tightrope. If he's suspended, the backup situation, A.J. Arcuri and David Quessenberry, is nothing short of a nightmare. Can you imagine the starting left tackle spot being this vulnerable with a Super Bowl window open? The panic should be real, but for now, they are holding their breath and hoping the storm passes. But then, you switch to the defensive side of the ball, and the tone shifts from anxiety to sheer adrenaline. Myles Garrett in a jersey of this color. It's not just a signing, it's an identity shift. Even without the legendary shadow of Aaron Donald, this pass-rushing unit is arguably the most terrifying collection of talent in the entire league. This is the ultimate opportunity-knocking scenario. Byron Young is the primary beneficiary. He's entering a contract year, he's hungry, and he's finally got the ultimate distraction lined up across from him. Garrett is going to command double teams, triple teams, and every ounce of respect an opposing offensive coordinator has. That leaves Young and the absolute force of nature that is Kobe Turner to feast. If you want to know who is going to shock the league with double-digit sack totals, look no further. Turner is the secret weapon, and if the team is smart, they will lock him up before his price tag hits the stratosphere. Even Josiah Stewart is in the mix. With the depth chart thin, he's getting his shot to prove he's more than just a rotation piece. And don't sleep on the special teams overhaul. It might seem like a secondary concern, but the team is clearly prioritizing toughness and grit to complement their explosive stars. Then we hit the linebacker room. If you want to find the source of the most intense fan frustration, you go here. Watching a former staple of the defense walk out the door and find success elsewhere is the kind of sting that lasts for years. Now, the burden of proof is entirely on Nate Landman. He secured the bag, but the inconsistency during the playoffs still haunts the fan base. He has to be the anchor, or the entire defensive structure could crumble when the pressure turns up. The same goes for Omar Speights. He's got a debt to pay after a rough exit last season. Redemption is the only currency that matters for these two right now. But the real, unfiltered joy of this roster, the part that should make every fan smile, is the secondary. With the talent they've assembled, the defensive backfield is evolving into a lockdown unit. But even here, there's a shadow of doubt. What happens if an injury hits? The drop-off from the starters to the depth pieces is alarming. It's the one weakness that could turn a championship run into a first-round exit. Should they be making a move for a veteran stabilizer like Rasul Douglas, or should they trust the kids? The debate is burning hot, and the front office is watching. Finally, we arrive at the specialists, the unsung heroes of the Rams house. We have our kicker, the guy who thrives in the freezing cold and the crushing weight of a divisional game. The man who makes the big moments look like a routine Sunday. And with a veteran long snapper added to the mix, the special teams unit is finally starting to look like a professional, cohesive machine rather than a liability. Is there a risk? Always. You look at the punt returner situation, and you see the potential for a disastrous, season-altering mistake. But the organization doesn't operate on emotions. They operate on a long-term, cold-blooded calculus. They believe in their process, they believe in their players, and they aren't going to blow it all up just because of one bad bounce in a championship game. So, where does this leave us? We are standing on the edge of a season that promises to be either a masterclass in modern roster building or a cautionary tale of hubris. Every position, from the battle-hardened veterans to the hungry, overlooked rookies, is under the microscope. The pieces are on the board. The strategy is set. Now, the only thing that matters is what happens when the whistle blows. Will the hybrid experiments on offense overcome the instability on the line? Can the pass rush be so dominant that it masks the potential flaws in the secondary? These aren't just questions for the beat reporters. They are the questions that will determine if this team ends up holding the trophy or spending the offseason wondering what could have been. The transformation is complete. The stage is set. And honestly, the drama is just getting started. If you want to stay in the loop as these battles rage through training camp and into the fire of the regular season, you know exactly what to do. Every single one of them. Every step of the way. The pressure is high, the stakes are higher, and the players are ready to prove the doubters wrong. It is time to see who rises to the occasion and who folds under the weight of expectations. The countdown has begun, and the intensity is only going to skyrocket from here. Don't look away, because the next chapter of this saga is going to be the most explosive one yet.